Welcome to the South Australian Police Road Safety Centre. Today I'd also like to welcome Lyndal and also Lyndal's son Lincoln. Today we're here to hear about Lincoln's story and also to share his story. Lincoln's story is one on cycling road safety. Lincoln was out cycling and was hit by a vehicle in July 2024 when he was just 4 years of age. Lincoln was trapped under that vehicle before being rushed to hospital. He suffered several broken ribs, a broken collarbone and other serious injuries. Lincoln's story is one that highlights the importance of cycling road safety, and in particular the importance of wearing protective clothing. Lincoln is with us today because he was wearing a helmet. The importance of wearing a helmet to cyclists is highlighted by this story, and I'd now like to play and share Lincoln's story.
The 4-year-old boy is tonight lucky to be alive after he was struck down by a maxi cab in the city's south. He was riding a bike with his dad when the taxi driver turned a corner, trapping him under the vehicle.
So Jamie had gone over the intersection, the van had pulled up, Lincoln had entered the intersection. As Lincoln had entered the intersection, the van had continued around the corner and run him over.
We were riding home and I was crossing the street when my dad said it was okay, and then the van came through and it hit me and it was noisy and heavy. And then I went to hospital to get my body fixed, and they took good care of me.
All we kept saying was, ouchie mummy, ouchie. And I wanted him in my arms, I wanted to cuddle him, I wanted to make him feel better, but I knew I couldn't pick him up. I knew he had to stay down, and I just kept saying, it's going to be okay, buddy, you're going to be okay. But we had no idea. I had no idea what injuries he had. All I could see was my little boy covered in blood.
So Lincoln was really lucky in this situation. So he actually had a fractured clavicle, which is your collarbone here. He had quite a few fractured ribs, a punctured lung, which can cause a lot of thoracic or chest-based injuries, as well as quite a serious neck injury due to the impact from the accident.
When the crash happened, everything in my body was hurting. I couldn't feel my legs under the van because it was so heavy. My injuries was 1 broken collarbone and 3 ribs, and I had a lump near my nose and one on my chest, and I had to have a neck brace.
His head and his body was pinned below the tyre of the vehicle, so it's just mere millimetres, and it could have been very different. Like he could have not been here, and you know, you sit there and go, the what ifs, but he's so lucky. You know, I think something was looking out for him that day.
So we go to a lot of these serious crashes, unfortunately, and the biggest thing for me that I seem to find is the common theme, unfortunately, is inattentiveness. So we see a lot of people that are on their phones, still, even in their earpieces, they're engaging in different things and not focusing on the road. And if they aren't focusing, then yeah, this is one of the prime things that causes a lot of the accidents that we're involved with as an ambulance service.
A maxi cab driver accused of running over a 4-year-old child at Plimpton Park has fronted court for the first time.
I wear my bright helmet lots and lots because my mum got it for me when I'm riding on the road and on the BMX tracks and skate parks.
My message to mums and dads and parents and grandparents: what's your child's life worth? If Lincoln hadn't been wearing his helmet, he wouldn't be here. So get your kids decent helmets. Make sure they're fitted, make sure they're wearing them and done up properly. And if you can, buy a bright coloured helmet. To be honest with you, I don't think helmet makers should even be able to make black helmets or pale grey helmets or army green helmets. You know, you want to be seen, you know, you want people to notice you.
So the take-home message from us for members of the public is abide by the rules. Again, for cyclists to ride in their lanes, wear nice bright clothing as well as bright and protective gear, and just be respectful for everybody that's on the road.
We now do BMX racing training, and he's raced his first few BMX races, which he loves too. Like anything on a bike, he's basically been born to be on wheels.
I have a bright helmet and this is what you should wear.
As you can see from the video, Lincoln is incredibly lucky to be with us today, and he owes that to wearing a helmet. Lincoln's story absolutely highlights the vulnerability of cyclists, and it is just so important, and our message is to all cyclists to make sure that you do everything possible to keep yourself safe on the roads. We want cyclists to be wearing their helmets, we want them to be wearing bright clothing, we want them to be doing everything possible to keep safe, and that means abiding by the road rules, staying as far left as possible at all times, riding in bike lanes when bike lanes are available. We want cyclists to be using front and rear lights even during the daytime. Cyclists are vulnerable, so you need to understand that you need to be doing everything possible to keep yourself safe. Here at the Road Safety Centre, we conduct education and skills and knowledge sessions. Parents out there, if you have young children and you haven't visited the Road Safety Centre, we have a great mock roadway here where young children, or older children as well, can experience a traffic environment in a safe environment. So parents with young children, if you haven't visited the Road Safety Centre, we encourage you to come down, bring your bikes and make a day of it and experience the roadway in a safe environment. I'd now like to invite Lincoln's mother, Lyndal, to come up and just say a few words and just highlight the one takeaway here in relation to cycling road safety is that to wear a helmet. Wearing a helmet can save your life. Lyndal?
I honestly believe had Lincoln not have been wearing his helmet that he wouldn't be here today. My big thing is, what is your child's life worth? Get yourself a decent helmet, make sure it's fitted, make sure they're wearing it. I often see people riding roads with the helmets undone, and if you can, try and find a bright coloured helmet. I honestly believe that helmet providers should not be making children's helmets that are black or grey or pale blue or pale green. I see that in the shops a lot. We should be being visible.
What's it like for you now to see Lincoln back on his bike cycling again?
Oh, it was amazing. The first day that he got out on his bike, we rode the streets down at Aldinga. It's a bit of a quieter space. And it was the best thing ever because we'd been riding to childcare for a good 18 months prior to the crash. So it's not like he was not on the roads on a regular basis. We always rode a little bit in front of him because in that 18 months we'd had multiple people coming out of driveways. So if I hadn't been in front of him, he might have been hit prior to this crash because no one could see him. He's below the fence line. So I always rode a little bit in front of him to make sure that he was safe.
What was his recovery like after the accident?
So we were 8 days in hospital. He had a broken collarbone, he had 3 broken ribs, he had punctured lungs, he had quite bad ligament damage to his neck, he had lacerations to his face and body, he had to have his lip stitched and his gum stitched. He was 3 days in C-spine. And every day it was just ticking off to make sure that there wasn't any long-term issues with his body. So yeah, it was a long 8 days, and then we spent another 2 months in at home recovering. Yeah, so it was a tough time.
How thankful are you? I know, the message today is wear a helmet, but that he was wearing his helmet that day and that it wasn't a lot worse.
I was always, from the moment he was on a bike, I went and got him a good helmet. That was actually his second helmet, and I was always like, even if you're on a scooter in the driveway, you are wearing your helmet. So I was big on it. I in my previous life, had covered a lot of crashes, and I know the importance of helmets, so I was big on it, and he always wore it, and I'm thankful that it was on and it was tight and it protected his head, because I don't know what we would have done if he'd